Antonio Morales has always been proud of his Puerto Rican roots. Born and raised in Bayamon, he worked hard to build a stable life for his family. After years of saving, he finally had enough to apply for a home loan, dreaming of moving his wife and kids into a place of their own. But when the bank ran his credit report, the loan officer's face turned grim. Senor Morales, you already have a mortgage and a car loan. Your credit is maxed out, she said. Antonio's stomach dropped. He had never applied for a mortgage before. He didn't even own a credit card. But according to the system, he owed thousands of dollars. Worse, the IRS later informed him that he had failed to report income from a job in Florida, somewhere he had never lived. Unbeknownst to Antonio, his identity had been stolen. Someone had taken his social security number, birth certificate, and name, selling them on the black market. That someone was part of a criminal network that specialized in supplying illegal immigrants with the identities of Puerto Ricans. For years, the U.S. government had struggled to stop the underground trade of Puerto Rican birth certificates. Because Puerto Ricans are born U.S. citizens, their documents are the perfect cover for illegal immigrants who want to obtain work, driver's licenses, and even government benefits. The man using Antonio's identity was an undocumented immigrant from a neighboring Hispanic country. Desperate for a way to stay in the U.S., he had paid $2,500 for a stolen identity package, one that happened to belong to Antonio. He got a job in Miami using Antonio's social security number, racking up debts under his name. He even got arrested once for a minor crime. But since he had Antonio's identity, the record stuck to Antonio instead. This is an example of one of the major issues affecting Puerto Ricans when it comes to illegal immigration. Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens by birth, but their Spanish names and backgrounds allow stolen identities to blend in with those of undocumented Hispanic immigrants. Every Puerto Rican is assigned a social security number at birth, making their identities valuable for undocumented immigrants seeking work, driver licenses, or benefits. Stolen Puerto Rican birth certificates and social security numbers are highly sought after on the black market, sometimes selling for thousands of dollars. Criminal organizations steal, buy, or fabricate Puerto Rican birth certificates and social security numbers, then sell them to undocumented immigrants. These undocumented immigrants then use these stolen identities to obtain jobs, which can lead to tax issues for the real identity holder. Stolen identities are sometimes used to open credit cards, take out loans, or apply for government benefits. Some undocumented immigrants use stolen identities to receive medical care, which can result in incorrect medical records for the real individual. Victims often face damaged credit, fraudulent tax records, and difficulties in securing loans or employment. Some Puerto Ricans have even been flagged for crimes they didn't commit because their stolen identity was used by someone else. Also, many Puerto Ricans have struggled to get passports and other official documents due to fraud concerns. In 2010, Puerto Rico passed a law requiring residents to reapply for new, more secure birth certificates after widespread fraud was uncovered. Over the years, federal authorities have also busted numerous fraud rings specializing in selling Puerto Rican identities to illegal immigrants. Here are a couple of examples of criminal organizations that were engaging in this activity. In 2014, 14 individuals were charged with trafficking identities of Puerto Rican U.S. citizens. According to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, from at least July 2008 to April of 2014, conspirators in the United States and Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory, sold the identities of Puerto Rican U.S. citizens, corresponding Social Security cards, Puerto Rico birth certificates, and other identification documents to illegal aliens and others residing in the United States. Specifically, the indictments allege that individuals located in the Caguas, Rio Piedras, and San Juan areas of Puerto Rico obtained Puerto Rican identities and corresponding identity documents. Conspirators in various locations throughout the United States solicited customers for those identities and documents. The identity brokers allegedly sold Social Security cards and corresponding Puerto Rico birth certificates for prices ranging from $700 to $2,500 per set. Another example was in 2018 when a Dominican national was sentenced to prison for his role in a scheme to sell the identities of Puerto Rican U.S. citizens and corresponding identity documents to individuals illegally residing in the United States. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, Rodriguez Canario and his co-conspirators sold identity documents to illegal aliens, knowing that those documents would be used to commit crimes, including Social Security fraud. These are just a couple examples of numerous indictments over the years. However, although authorities had cracked down on identity theft rings, the damage was already done for many victims like Antonio. While the undocumented immigrant using his identity had disappeared, likely using another stolen ID, Antonio was left to clean up the mess. His dream of buying a house was put on hold, his finances wrecked, all because someone took his name and used it as their own. Antonio wasn't alone. Thousands of Puerto Ricans had suffered the same fate, having their identities hijacked and their financial lives destroyed. Some have been unable to get jobs because their Social Security numbers were already in use. Others have been falsely accused of crimes or denied medical treatment because their stolen identity had been linked to someone else's records. Now, I just want to mention, this is not an attack on immigrants or undocumented immigrants, as most are decent people in search of a better life. However, it's also important to recognize that criminal elements exist that don't think twice about who they harm. In this case, a lot of damage has been done to Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans, and we have a right to call it out. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Help us to spread this video by sharing. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more videos.